Hemdall. Myths, legends, they're just stories to most. But in Skellige, they have much more meaning to the average man. On the Isles, they live in a very Viking-like lifestyle, where the warriors strive to be the toughest and strongest versions of themselves, to prove their worth to the gods. For they want to fight by the side of Hemdall, when Ragh Nar Rook takes place. Hemdall, to some of the Skelligers, is a god like Freya, a mythical hero who is said to be in a kind of deep slumber. The only thing that would awaken him from his sleep would be the crows of a golden rooster named Kambi, whose cries would mark the start of Ragh Nar Rook. But Hemdall isn't just a figure that symbolizes Ragh Nar Rook, the end of the world. He also, in a way, stands for the beginning of things, at least for the Skelligers. Like many lands, Skelligers have their own myths and legends that would make them see themselves as more than others, as more worthy. Because Hemdall also marks the start of the Skellige clans as we know them today. He is, in a way, the founding father of Skellige, and Ragh Nar Rook isn't the only thing he's involved in on the Isles. There are several other stories related to him that the people in the Isles believe in. Legends about Hemdall killing giants and being responsible for what is now known as the Whale Graveyard. It was said that when the King of Wales was dying, Hemdall guided him to that spot so that he could once more see the setting sun before passing away. The Skelligers believe that ever since, whales have come there to die, just like their noble ancestor. But back to the founding of Skellige. What is Hemdall's connection? Hemdall's relationship to the gods is slightly different depending on who tells the story, but some believe that he has great relationships with several goddesses, including Freya. But for the founding of the Isles, we have to look to another goddess, Hölin. Hemdall and Hölin had 6 sons together: Tyr, Sove, Otkell, Modolf, Broddr and Grymmdjar, and each one of them would go on to found the clan. Tyr became the founder of Clan Tuirseach on the island of Skellige, which was given to him by Hemdall. But before he could take the island, he first had to fight Ingvar, a powerful bear that had killed every warrior that dared to face him. To prepare for the fight, Tyr forged a sword, sharp enough to cut a hair lengthwise. His mother Hölin engraved protective runes in the sword to block the bear's attacks. In the end, Tyr was successful and killed the bear, securing the island of Skellige for Clan Tuirseach. The second son, Sove, was the founder of Clan Brokvar on the island of Spikeroog. He went to the island and took a woman named Ulula as his wife. They had a bit of a troubled relationship, to which Sove responded by leaving the island in search of a solution to get better along with her. While meditating on Hindarsfjall, Hemdall and Hölin heard his pleas and decided to help him, giving him a formula to a potion that would help mend the relationship. To brew this potion, he had to gather several ingredients, and so Sove killed a chimera. He climbed the highest mountains and dove to the deepest underwater caves of the Isles to get his ingredients. He brewed the potion, drank it, and meditated, after which he achieved enlightenment and lived out the rest of his days in peace and harmony with Ulula. Otkell was the lord of Hindarsfjall and founder of Clan Heymaey. When he sailed to the island, a heavy storm broke out. The power and thunder was so loud that his father couldn't hear Otkell's pleas for help. But he was heard by another, the goddess Freya, who gave him bagpipes that could calm the storm. Otkell arrived safely on the island, and, per his father's request, built a large temple to Freya, the goddess which Clan Heymaey has been very devout followers of ever since. Modolf was given the island of Undvik, where he founded Clan Drummund. He, however, in contrast to his brothers, never learned what his special talent was, and while he achieved some great things, he always held a grudge against his father for not having any special power that he knew of. After the death of Modolf, Clan Drummond left Undvik and went to Skellige, where they took over half of the island from the Craite. Broddr would found Clan Drummond on the island of Faroe. Broddr was almost the opposite of what one would expect from a Skelliger. He loathed looting, and he never told a lie. He was a paragon of virtue. However, when he was in the final stages of his life, he was summoned by Hemdall. But he never arrived, for on the journey his ship had been devoured by a whale. Ever since, Clan Dimun has hunted whales to find the remains of the founder of their clan. And last but not least, there's Grymmdjar, founder of Clan Craite, on the island of Skellige. Grymmdjar was said to be incredibly strong, and while searching for a place to found his clan on the island, he requested his father to give him the thickest chain he could forge. With this chain, Grymmdjar pulled an enormous rock to the surface, in which he carved out Geralt with his bare hands. Hemdall's sons founded what is now the Skellige clans, this marking the beginning of the life on the Skellige Isles, according to the legends. Hemdall's relationship with some of the gods can be a bit inconsistent, as some believe he is a god himself, others believe he was the favorite lover of Freya, and some believe that he was Freya's son. But no matter where he came from, Hemdall is one of the most important figures to the Skelligers, as they are prepared to lay down their lives for him. But while looking into Hemdall, there was something that came to mind. What if Geralt is Hemdall? I don't mean Geralt is the Hemdall from the legends of the founding of the clans. What I mean is that he might be the Hemdall of Ragh Nar Rook. Hemdall was said to be in a slumber, and would only return when the golden rooster Kambi called him. Geralt, for a while, was in a kind of state between life and death on the island of Avalon, from which he awoke to fight the forces of evil, that being the Wild Hunt, against which he fights during what is Ragh Nar Rook in The Witcher 3. But not only that, Hemdall was said to have killed a giant, which Geralt also did, on Undvik. Geralt kind of is, during the final confrontation with the Wild Hunt, what Hemdall was supposed to be. Therefore I wonder if you think it was meant as a suggestion that Geralt in a way is Hemdall. Something fun to note about Hemdall is the fact there are 4 shrines dedicated to him on Faroe, out of which one is pure decorations. The other 3, however, are special, for they can actually change the weather if you pray to them. It has to be noted that many of the named figures related to Hemdall are heavily inspired or taken from Norse mythology, as is the case with many things related to the Skelligers, with things like the Bifrost, Ragh Nar Rook and the Naglfar. So, what are your opinions on Hemdall? Is Geralt an incarnation of him? And would you like to see more about Skellige myths and legends? Till next video.